I've been in the gym for about 3 years now, and before that, I was doing calisthenics at home for about two. So while I might not be extremely advanced, I have had a bit of training, and I've learnt my fair share of lessons along the way. And that's what I'd like to share today. What if I could go back in time and tell my younger self something about training? What would I say? Well, I've got a few things. One, don't worry about genetics. If it's something that you can't control, don't worry about it. What's the point? If you can't change it, then there's no point worrying about it. If you can change it, then change it, right? For example, for the longest time I was worried, oh, my wrists are too skinny. Like, I've got like 6.5 inch wrists. And I was like, wow, I'm never going to pack on muscle. Because I'd read somewhere, oh yeah, your wrist size is correlated to how big your arms are going to be. Well, yeah, it's true. There is a limit. But does it matter? Is it going to stop me from training ever again? Am I going to say, wow, there's no point? Am I going to give up? No, of course not, because what would be the point of that? So you might as well try. You might as well get as far as you can get with the cards that you're given, right? Number two, train properly. So for ages, I was just going to the gym, doing whatever exercise I felt like for whatever sets, whatever reps I wanted to. And for a little while it worked. Like for bench, I just kept on going in, slapping some weight on, as much as I could handle, bouncing it off my chest, and then throwing it back onto the rack. So I progressed on this, obviously, as you would, because I'm a beginner. And I got to a point where I just couldn't add any weight anymore. And I couldn't figure out what happened. Am I just supposed to add smaller weight? Have I reached my limit? Is that it? I was about like 90 or 95 at the time on my bench. And I was completely just disheartened. I was like, wow, that's it then. I've hit my limit. And it was only like 1.5 years into the gym. Before that, I had been doing calisthenics for ages. But 1 year into the gym and already worried about reaching my ceiling? How stupid was that? And the fix was just train properly. Get a routine down. Have specified jumps, specified weight jumps that you have to do. Small increases in volume, small increases in weight, and do that over time. Just going to the gym and doing whatever you want on the day, however you feel, yeah, it will get you so far, but it won't take you any further than that. And the thing is, I thought, wow, my progress has slowed down now, it's never going to get faster again. But that wasn't true. As soon as I started training properly, I had like a second phase of newbie gains. So yeah, if you can start earlier, that's better. If you can afford a coach or something, that's great. If you can't, there's plenty of free programs online. That's what I do. I just look online, find some free programs I can use, and just run those for a certain amount of time. And it just works because people have tried it, people have tested it, and people have had results from it because humans respond to stress and they recover and they come back and you have more stress. That's it. It's a very simple thing to do, but you have to be training right. If you're just coming into the gym doing whatever you want, don't expect a huge amount of progress unless you are a genetic specimen, because obviously those people do exist, and some people can just go in, do whatever, and make massive gains. But that's not everyone, and it certainly wasn't me. So that's something else I'd keep in mind. Number three, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Now, it might sound stupid from a guy who's only been in the gym for 3 years, but I can already see that it's not a short-term thing at all. I don't know what my future is going to look like. I don't know if I can continue training to the future, but I'd love to continue training for a decade or 2 decades, until I'm old. I'd love to keep on training, like well past into retirement. That would be great. But what I do know is that within the first couple of years, there's no point getting worried about how good your progress is because it's different for everyone. Some people have really high baselines and they just shoot up from there, and they also have very high ceilings. Some people might have really low baselines, but with time, they also have a pretty high ceiling. So you don't know who you are. Of course, you can also have a low ceiling, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop you from training. Like I said before with the first point, don't worry about what you can't control. Make sure that you're doing everything consistently, and that's very important. The longer you do it, the longer you stay in the game, the more likely you are to succeed. And that's all there is to it. Number 4, progressively overload. Don't progressively cheat. When I was first getting started with squats, what I would do is max out every single session, just like bench. It was stupid. So I'd put my max weight on the bar, squat it, iffy depth to begin with, and then the next week I'd put more weight on the bar and squat to even less depth. And I'd continue doing this. And it was stupid. And there was no point. There's no progressive overload because at greater joint angles, the muscles have to work less. So it all evened out. Yeah, the weight's heavier, but the moment arms of my muscles are easier as well. So I wasn't making any progress. I was just putting more weight on the bar for the fun of it. And same with benching. What I would do is bounce harder and harder. Again, no point. Your connective tissue is going to get to a point where it's not going to be able to give you any more bounce. And then what do? The thing is, train right from day one. I wasted a lot of time not training right. And I'm sure many people have done it too. But many people have also trained right from day one, and that served them well. And I've seen that in people around me. It's important to keep your ego at bay. I know I did it when I started out, but if you have a problem with it, just forget about it. No one cares how much you're lifting when you're just starting out. Everyone knows that it takes time. It might take a decade or even more to reach your peak strength potential. So don't worry about it. Go into the gym, do everything to the same standard each time. Same depth, same amount of pause on the bench each time, whatever it is. Don't progressively cheat, progressively overload. So another point I'd like to throw in is try and enjoy what you do. If you're going to the gym and thinking of a certain exercise or certain set of exercises and you're just thinking, oh no, I have to do those again, just take them out. You're in the journey for you. Of course you don't want to develop imbalances, but there's ways around that. See, I hate deadlifts, so I took them out, but I don't want a weak posterior chain. So I do hamstring work on, hamstring curls, very many deadlifts. I do lower back work, I do glute work, and obviously I keep on squatting. So remember that you're in this journey for you. Enjoy the journey because there's no end point. You're never going to reach your dream physique. You're never going to reach your perfect strength goals. Not because you won't get there, it's because your goals will move with you. Say that you've always wanted to deadlift 300 kilograms and you've got that goal in your mind. What happens when you get there? Are you finished? Is that it? Of course not. You're going to keep on going. You're going to try and do 310, 320. That's just how human psychology works. So remember, there is no end point. You're in the journey for you, so do what you enjoy along the way. So I hope this advice to my younger self has helped you in some way. Of course, if you're more experienced than me, then feel free to just ignore it, because you probably know a lot more. But if you're just starting out, if you're a beginner, 1 to 2 years in the gym, then take these lessons that I've learned and use it to boost your progress. Because the better you start out, the further you'll go. And that's what it's all about. Keep on learning, keep on doing better, and keep on the journey. Have fun. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments below with any future video ideas. And subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching.